Hey everybody, this is David Forsey doing a Solidworks tutorial on assembly mates and basic animations in Solidworks. So I utilized a piston cylinder assembly, as you can see in the photograph. To begin, I started with 4 different components. I have the basic cylinder with slats in it so you can see the piston moving in the cylinder. I have the piston on the bottom left, the connecting rod, and the shaft. And as they are in this state, they have no mates, and they're totally independent of each other, and they're effectively hanging in free space in SolidWorks. So to begin with, I clicked on mate in the top left corner, and I began using concentric mates between the connecting rod and the shaft in order to create a relationship between those two parts. So you have multiple different mates that you can utilize, from coincident, parallel, perpendicular, tangent, etc. And I mostly utilized the tangent, concentric, and coincident mates for this assembly. So moving on to the other mates that I used. So I used concentric mates once again for the piston and the connecting rods, and also for the piston and the cylinder, and then used tangent mates for the planes that SolidWorks provides, and the shaft and the cylinder. So one good trick is utilizing the planes that SolidWorks has already pre-programmed into your part in order to mate the parts to those, because they create anchors for your parts so they don't move at all when you create those mates. So I wanted my shaft to remain in place entirely, and same with the cylinder. So I mated those to different planes in order to keep them still. And then the connecting rod and the piston are only mated to the other parts so they can move around. So once you've fully defined your part so that only the pieces you want to be moving are moving, you can move on to animation. So in order to animate your part, you click on Motion Study 1, which is in the bottom left corner of SolidWorks. With this, you can create movement in your parts and add in motors and springs and different things like that in order to provide a visual of how your part works. So what I did for mine was add a motor in order to torque the shaft to get the piston moving up and down in the cylinder. So to begin with, I dragged out this black diamond to 6 seconds in the animation box at the bottom left, which is what pops up after you hit Motion Study 1. This gave me 6 seconds of time to play with, which I figured was enough time to show one full rotation of the shaft. So after dragging those 6 seconds out, I then hit the little motor icon, just a little yellow cylinder at the top right of the animation assembly, and it gives you these different options that are highlighted in the red box. So you can change the RPM, you can add a certain amount of torque to the motor, so if it is presented with a resistance, it will slow down or speed up depending on the kind of friction that it's facing with. So for this simple animation, I decided to just do a constant speed of 10 RPM, so it would overcome any resistance it feels in order to remain at 10 RPM. I also provided a clockwise rotation on the shaft, and then hit OK. So when you then hit play, my piston cylinder is able to run up and down, and it provides about 1 rotation to the cylinder before the time stops. And if you want to spruce up your animation a little bit in order to make it look a little bit better, if you want to actually create a video, you can right click on the lights, cameras, and scene tab, which is in the little picture on the top right, and you can add directional lights, spotlights, and ambient light in order to give a different look to your part. You can create different shadows and also add different colored lighting in order to create different effects. This is a really great way to market your product a little bit better if you are presenting on it in some way. So that's my quick tutorial on basic mates and basic animations. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will talk to you guys soon.